Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Switch Hitter Podcast. I am your host, Red, where we will be talking all things Yankees baseball. And boy, oh boy, what a week it's been. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. We'll talk about it. Let's jump right into it. We got our weekly overview. We have our future cast around the MLB standings, give you some news, some things that have been going on during the week, and then, of course, Pinstripe Rewind and our player spotlight of the week. Let's jump into it. We start our week off all right, 5-12. We had a 6-2 win against the Orioles. Paul Goldschmidt homers his fourth of the year in the top of the first, 1-0. That won't be the first time we see that this week. Cody Bellinger would ground a forced out, bringing Wells home and putting Aaron Judge to third. Rice would be out at second, and Bellinger would go to first. Top of the third inning, 2-0 Yankees. Rosario would single in the top of the third, bringing home Aaron Judge and putting Cody Bellinger to second base. Trent Grisham would hit his sixth home run of the year, bringing home Cody Bellinger and Rosario in the top of the third. 6-0 Yankees. Baltimore would score two more runs in the bottom of the sixth, bringing it to 6-2, New York Yankees leading, and that would be the end of the game. Warren would take the mound. His final line would be 5.2 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts with an ERA of 3.24. Then our final game against the Orioles on Wednesday, May 13th, we would lose 0-7. Not much to talk about. Sad showing from the offense. There was only 1 hit all day, and that would be from Jazz. An awful showing from our pitching staff as well. Fried's struggles would continue. He is now on the IL. We'll get to that in a little bit. 3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, a 3.21 ERA on the day for him. Our following pitchers would not do much better. Blackburn with 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, a 4.08 ERA. And Yarbrough would come in with 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 0 walks, 4 strikeouts, a 3.45 ERA. Bad last game on the road at Baltimore. We would still be on the road, though. We would start the Subway Series on Friday, 5:15 against the Mets with a 5-2 win. Cody Bellinger would double his 11th of the year. Ben Rice would score, and Aaron Judge would go to third. Top of the third inning, we are now 1-0 New York Yankees. Jazz Chisholm would hit a double, his 8th of the year, bringing home Judge and Bellinger. Top of the third, 3-0 Yanks. Spencer Jones would single a line drive to right field. Jazz Chisholm would score, and the top of the 5th, we are 4-0. Looking good, right? Ben Rice would hit his 14th home run of the year. 5-1 New York Yankees in the top of the 9th. Some sad news out of the Mets camp, though. Mets pitcher Clay Holmes would suffer a broken leg after getting hit by a 111-mile-an-hour line drive from Spencer Jones. It is said he will be out for a long time. Spencer Jones heard about the news the following day and was very upset about it. They have had workouts in the past, so he sends his best to Clay Holmes. Schlittler's final line, 6.2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. The stud has been awesome, a 1.35 ERA. Wow. And this is where it gets bad for us. We continued the second game of the Subway Series against the New York Mets with a 6-3 loss. Trent Grisham would single on a ground ball to left field. Jazz Chisholm would score. Top of the second inning, Yanks are up 1-0. A wild pitch by Carlos Rodon allowed Bench to score, Bichette to score, and brought Juan Soto to third base. This throwing error by Rodon sealed our fate for the night, 2-1 New York Mets. We would have some production throughout the night, but we could never take that lead back. Goldschmidt would single to right field, Ben Rice would score, Bellinger to second. Top of the 5th inning, 2-3 New York Mets. Bellinger would reach by a fielding error by Carson Bench. Aaron Judge would score, Bellinger to second. Top of the 7th, still 3-5 New York Mets. That would be our final score of 6-3. Rodon's rough day, 3.2 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, a very rough 5.63 ERA. And the final game of the Subway Series did not go our way. We would lose 6-7. Rough number there. An awful, awful day by the Yankees. We were leading all the way up until the 9th inning, until the Mets tied it up and ended it with 1 run in the 10th inning. Ben Rice would hit his 15th home run of the year on the top of the 3rd. We are up 1-0. Volpe has been producing with a single line drive to left field. Bellinger would score. Chisholm would score. Schumann to 3rd. Top of the 6th inning, 3-1 Yanks. Rosario would be out on a sacrifice fly to right field. Schumann would score. Volpe to 2nd. Top of the 6th. Yanks are still doing well, 4-1. Grisham would reach on a fielding error by Bichette. Volpe would score. Grisham to 2nd. Top of the 6th, 5-1. Volpe would walk. Bellinger scores. Chisholm to 3rd. Schumann to 2nd in the top of the 7th inning, 6-3. Where could it go wrong? This is where it went wrong. Bottom of the 9th inning, Tyrone Taylor would get his 3rd home run of the year. Bench would score. Juan Soto would score. Bottom of the 9th, 6-6. But we can finish it, right? We could do it. We could win this game. Wrong. Bench would reach on a fielder's choice by Max Schumann. Siemens would score. Torrens to 2nd. 6-7. The Mets win the Subway Series. Let's forget about that. With that horrible news out of the way, let's move on to our last game of the week, which was on Monday, May 18th, the New York Yankees versus the Blue Jays, where we won 7-6. What a back and forth game. Like the beginning of this week, Paul Goldschmidt would hit a home run, his 5th of the year. The Yanks are up 1-0. The Jays would take the lead 3-1 in the 4th inning. Escar would be out on a sacrifice fly. Volpe would score 3-2, bottom of the 4th. Goldschmidt, producing again, would hit his 5th double of the year. Schumann would score. Bottom of the 4th, we're tied back up 3-3. The Jays would take the lead again in the top of the 5th, 4-3. 5-3, top of the 6th Jays. Bellinger would hit his 6th home run of the year, bringing home Aaron Judge. Bottom of the 7th, it is 5-5. And Jazz Chisholm Jr. would hit his 5th home run of the year in Giancarlo Stanton's pants, of all things. Grisham would score. Bottom of the 7th, 5-7 Yankees. Final score, 6-7 Yankees win. Weather's final line for the night, 5.1 innings pitched, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 0 walks, 7 strikeouts with an ERA of 3.58. A little bit of a rough day for him, but our offense was able to produce and pull out the win. That has been your weekly overview. Let's jump into our future cast. On Tuesday, May 19th, we continue our 4-game series against the Blue Jays at 7:05 p.m. at home. Wednesday, May 20th, we continue that series with the Blue Jays, 7:05 at home. And lastly, you guessed it, Thursday, May 21st, we finish the series against the Blue Jays, 7:05 at home. We stay at home on Friday, May 22nd for a 3-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays at 7:05 p.m., Saturday, May 23rd at 1:35 p.m., and Sunday, May 24th, the final game against the Tampa Bay Rays at 1:35 p.m. And on Monday, 5:25, the New York Yankees are away at the Royals, and that game will be at 3:40 p.m. That has been your Future Cast. We will now jump into Around the MLB standings. We start, as always, with the American League East, and leading are the Tampa Bay Rays with 31 wins and 15 losses. Not too far behind are your New York Yankees with 29 wins and 19 losses. The American League Central, the Cleveland Guardians are leading with 27 wins and 22 losses, trailed by the Chicago White Sox with 24 wins and 23 losses. Over in the American League West, the Athletics are leading with 23 wins, 24 losses, trailed by the Seattle Mariners with 23 wins and 26 losses. Moving over to the National League, ahead of the National League East are the Atlanta Braves with 32 wins and 16 losses, trailed by the Philadelphia Phillies, led by Don Mattingly with 25 wins and 23 losses. The National League Central is led by the Chicago Cubs with 29 wins and 19 losses, and they are followed by the Brewers with 27 wins and 18 losses. Atop the National League West has been a neck-and-neck battle all season. The San Diego Padres are currently at the lead with 29 wins and 18 losses, closely trailed by the Los Angeles Dodgers with 29 wins and 19 losses. That has been the Around the MLB standings. We will now move into the Pinstripe Rewind of the Week. 64 years ago, on May 22nd, 1962, New York Yankees outfielder Roger Maris walks 5 times, a record, 4 intentionally in a 9-inning game. That has been your Pinstripe Rewind of the Week. We will now jump into the news. So, we have a couple things to talk about. Now, people have been at Austin Wells' throat. And I have to go back to something that I talked about earlier this season because I'm not a hypocrite, or at least I try not to be a hypocrite. I was a fan, and I still am a fan of Wells at the beginning of the season. And last year, he had a lot of confidence, at least as a catcher. His batting was never superb, but he was always a confident catcher, and I liked that. But as his batting average has fallen and his confidence has fallen behind the plate, you can see it happening when he's batting as well, which is a big, big problem. And people are at his throat. Everyone, fans, pundits, reporters, everyone wants this guy gone. I don't know if it's that far because our backup is Escara, who isn't batting that much better. So if we really want to get rid of him, we have to make a move and actually get somebody who can hit. And on the market, there are not that many people yet. So I opt to just wait it out. We'll see what happens. He's batting at 173 with 19 hits, 3 home runs, and an OPS of 556. Awful. Absolutely awful. There's no defending his performance this year, but this is a very reactionary sport. So you see one problem, people want him gone immediately. I can see where they're coming from, but there's really no good option at this point. And if there is, make the move. But right now, our backup plan is Escara, which doesn't give me that much confidence. It's a shame because, again, I liked him, but the media is just crucifying him. Transitioning to somebody who was crucified last year, Anthony Volpe's been back. And he's actually been very good so far. He did a great move avoiding the tag on a slide to home base in yesterday's game on Monday. And he has had back-to-back multiple hit games. So Wells is getting a lot of the heat now. Volpe, until he messes up, he's good. He's safe for now. We'll see. I'm sure Caballero is going to get the start. But if Caballero even dips slightly, it would not shock me if Boone immediately throws Volpe back in because he's producing. He's off his injury. We'll see what happens. But again, you can see it from year to year. Last year, everyone was at Volpe's throat. Now everyone's at Wells' throat. It never ends. Thankfully, there's no season-ending injury for Max Fried, but he remains on the IL for some elbow soreness. And not a lot of people are talking about this, but to me, Bernard is a problem. He is rocking a 5.14 ERA. He cost us a game a couple days ago. He almost cost us a game yesterday. You can't. Everyone's confident because you're not going to bash your pitcher, obviously, but I can't trust him. From the beginning of the season, beginning of April, and now we're almost at the end of May, I can't trust this guy. He just gives up too many opportunities. He's not confident. I'm just scared. Whenever he's behind the plate, I'm scared. We'll see what happens. We'll see if he builds his confidence up more, see if he doesn't give up these runs. But in a one-score game, I have absolutely no confidence turning off the game saying, all right, we won, it's over, because he's going to give it up. Anyway, we will jump into our player spotlight of the week, which has been a player that also the media has been crucifying, and that is none other than Trent Grisham. The 29-year-old from Texas is the current center fielder for the New York Yankees, and he made his big league debut on August 1st, 2019, at 22 years old against Oakland. He had 3 at-bats, 0 hits, 0 home runs, and 1 RBI in that game. He is signed through 2026 on a 1-year, $22 million deal and is a free agent in 2027. He was drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers in the first round, 15th pick of the 2015 MLB June Amateur Draft out of Richland High School in North Richland Hills, Texas. His 2025 stats have been a .235 average, a .348 OBP, .646 slugging, and a .811 OPS. Some current facts is he is a two-time Gold Glove winner in 2020 and 2022. He played for the Milwaukee Brewers in 2019, the San Diego Padres in 2020 to 2023, and joined the New York Yankees in 2024. Trent Grisham, in my opinion, is a stellar center fielder. He makes clutch plays, he is fast, and he is explosive. His batting, however, has not been good enough to be the lead-off hitter. That will do it for this episode of the Switch Hitter Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. As always, I am your host, Red. Let's go Yankees, and I will see you on the field.